I canceled your reservation for you." What? That's... On the day of the eagerly awaited company trip, I was perplexed upon arriving at the meeting place. No one was there. I called my boss, Adam, to check what was going on and received the response I just mentioned. "Well then, I wouldn't enjoy the trip just looking at your smug face. Don't take it personally." Adam said this unilaterally and hung up the phone. My name is Michael. I'm a 25-year-old office worker. I was raised in a single-parent household. My father died in a traffic accident when I was still young. Since then, my mother has been working desperately at multiple part-time jobs to raise me on her own. She worked at a convenience store from late at night to early morning, and at a restaurant from the afternoon to the evening, in between preparing meals for me. I'm truly grateful for her. That's why I wanted to become independent as soon as possible and give back to my mother. So I joined Carter Trading Company immediately after graduating from high school without pursuing further education. Carter Trading Company, where I got a job, is a trading company, a subsidiary of a major electrical manufacturer. They handle a wide variety of electronic components and are busy every day with many customers. At first, I was fumbling around and often turned pale thinking, I won't make the deadline. But now I've grown to the point where I can properly set preventative measures from plan A to C, and I no longer have the dishonor of missing deadlines. Furthermore, this term, I succeeded in developing a significant new business and am likely to receive the highest rating in personnel evaluations. My work is going well. All of this is thanks to the wonderful colleagues and bosses around me. Most employees at Carter Trading were university graduates, so when I joined a company straight from high school, I was initially intimidated and felt out of place working alongside my older peers. However, my colleagues and bosses never looked down on me for being a high school graduate. Instead, they were kind, saying, "You work hard for someone so young. If you have any troubles, feel free to talk to us." This made me feel secure and allowed me to work comfortably. Now, I am leading a project team for new business sales and managing 3 subordinates. My career should have been smooth sailing. But since joining the company, there has been one person who has always treated me harshly, causing me trouble. His name is Adam Patterson, the son of the company's president, John Patterson, and my direct boss. He is overly obsessed with being the president's son and looks down on everyone, whether they are his superiors or subordinates, with a terribly biased mindset. He always ridicules me as a high school graduate and an incompetent with low education, and takes a high-handed attitude, emphasizing how capable he is and that I should work for him. Colleagues and even higher-level managers like department heads are troubled by how to deal with him. One day, while I was working overtime alone for the next day's tasks, Adam approached my desk with loud footsteps. "Hey, Michael." "Jess, what is it, Adam?" "You screwed up the parts order for Company A. Fix it right now." But Adam, aren't you in charge of Company A?" What are you saying? Are you talking back to me? As my subordinate, you should also take care of my work." "That's unreasonable. Stop complaining and go apologize to the client first thing tomorrow morning. Tell the delivery destination about the delay as well." "But tomorrow, I have a commitment with a client." "Don't mess with me. Just go there tomorrow, no matter what." Adam was red-faced with anger, but it was completely unreasonable. The company was his responsibility, and there was no way I could know the progress of their orders and dispatches. Perhaps sensing my defiant attitude, Adam continued, "Seriously, why does someone as incompetent as a high school graduate like you even work at our company? Keep up that cheeky attitude, and I'll have you fired." Such tyranny. Then, as collective responsibility, your subordinates will be fired too. I am the son of President Patterson. Since I'm telling you to do it, just do as you're told without backtalk. I understand. It's always a headache dealing with him flaunting his son of President Patterson authority unilaterally. Adam seems to genuinely despise me, a high school graduate who has high customer satisfaction from clients and has made significant achievements in developing new businesses. Adam looked down on me with disdain as if mocking me. You should have just obediently said so from the start and then left. I decided to adjust my work schedule and contact the clients. Then, I pulled out a company's documents from the drive to check the content and review the emails with the client. What was uncovered there was not Adam's ordering mistake, but rather an ordering oversight. It was necessary to reschedule the delivery date and reorganize various schedules accordingly. I sighed deeply, put my hand on my forehead, and started thinking hard about how to handle the situation when I thought I heard a noise from behind. When I turned around, the door of the sales department was ajar. I assumed someone from another department had passed through the corridor and didn't pay much attention, bracing myself for a long night of overtime in the dimly lit office, alone in front of my PC. Several weeks after that incident, there was a plan for all Carter Trading employees to go on a trip. Apparently, Mr. Patterson had planned and budgeted for this trip as a form of employee recreation. Mr. Patterson, who had built this trading company from the ground up, was a capable leader and a person of virtue, almost unimaginably different from his son, Adam, and was highly trusted by the employees. The travel destination chosen by Mr. Patterson for everyone to enjoy was Colorado. It was a historic resort, well located near the center of Colorado, where everyone was free to go sightseeing during the day as they pleased. Although I wasn't very keen on the idea of a company trip, I decided to join when I realized my best friend from high school lived in Colorado. His name was Jason. I immediately called Jason to tell him about the trip to Colorado. When I asked if we could meet during my free time, Jason was very pleased, and we made a promise to meet. Such an opportunity was precious, as I wouldn't usually have the chance to visit otherwise. I hadn't seen him since I celebrated his graduation from high school, entering college, and living on his own. Jason was what you'd call an honor student, a quiet student who always sat at his desk studying during breaks. One day, I witnessed a scene where a group of rowdy boys were teasing Jason, who was quietly studying, and harassing him. "Hey, nerd boy, if you keep studying like that, your butt's gonna fuse with the chair. That's ridiculous. Just leave me alone. You're so boring. You don't play around because you're always studying, so you must have a lot of money, right? Give it to us, we'll use it for you. Stop it." Jason was surrounded by 3 male students, his face tense. Without thinking, I twisted the arm of one of the students who was about to grab Jason and stepped in to help. "Hey, cut it out with the stupid stuff." Oh, Michael. No, it was just a joke. Don't get so mad. Even as a joke, it's in poor taste. Don't ever do it again. All right, I get it. Having been raised by a single mother and often teased about it, I had a bad look in my eyes and was frequently challenged to fights, but I always stood my ground and won, which made the rowdy guys fear me. When I glared at them, the entire rowdy group ran off with their tails between their legs. Jason was very grateful for that incident, and that's how we started talking and became good friends. Despite coming from different family backgrounds and having different goals, Jason and I strangely clicked and got along very well. At that time, I was desperate to get good grades to secure a decent job to reassure my mother, but I wasn't very good at studying and was struggling with things I didn't understand. When I shared my troubles, Jason said, "If I can help," and started teaching me. "Hey, Jason, there's something I don't get in math. Do you know how to solve this?" "Oh, for that you use this formula." "Ah, I see, thanks. You really are amazing, Jason." "It's nothing really." "Well, the university you're aiming for is super tough. Are you sure you should be spending time on my studies?" "Of course. Besides, Teaching others deepens my own understanding, so I'm grateful. Haha, I see. That's good then. I'll even raise my grades for the recommendation letter for job hunting. Go for it. Your mom has been so thankful for the study sessions that she treated me to some delicious meals. I really hope your job hunting goes well and makes her happy. That's the plan. I want to make life easier for her as soon as possible, but I also want you to succeed in your university entrance exams. Just make sure not to overdo it. This is how we hit it off and began studying together. We visited each other's homes, studied at McDonald's or family diners during our breaks, and even played games together. Thanks to Jason, my high school life was very fulfilling. Remembering those days, I looked forward to reuniting with Jason and continued to work hard. On the day of the trip, I packed my suitcase and prepared gifts for Jason, then headed to the station. I arrived a bit earlier than the meeting time, but not a single one of the more than 30 employees was there, leaving me dumbfounded. I rechecked the email from Adam, but the time was correct. With a sinking feeling, I decided to wait for the others to arrive. But no matter how long I waited, nobody showed up. Reluctantly, I decided to call Adam. Adam, where are you now? Oh, Michael, what's up? What do you mean? I came to the location specified in the email, but nobody is here, so I called. Too bad, we've already left. What? You're marked as a no-show because you were late. I've even canceled your part of the hotel reservation, so don't bother coming. That's just... Well then, I wouldn't enjoy the trip just looking at your smug face. Don't take it personally. Adam unilaterally said this and hung up the phone. I had been given a false travel schedule by Adam. I was furious about being treated as a no-show for such a selfish reason, but what concerned me more was what to do about my promise to Jason. Looking forward to our reunion and thinking I could move more freely than in a group setting, I decided to travel to the destination at my own expense. When I arrived at the station, Jason was waiting for me at the gate. Jason, it's been so long. You made it, but why are you alone on a company trip? Well, let's hear it later. There's a great restaurant nearby. They serve alcohol, so let's fill our stomachs first. Yeah, sounds good. I'm starving. After celebrating our reunion, Jason and I decided to have lunch and went to a restaurant he recommended. The relaxed seating was divided by partitions, creating a space where we could talk comfortably. We ordered beers as soon as we sat down. Holding the frothy mugs that were soon brought to us, we toasted to our reunion. Cheers, the beer's great. Cheers. As we marveled at the taste of the beer, Jason asked with a concerned look, "What about the other employees?" Well, I was sabotaged by my boss and treated like a no-show. What? Yeah, he gave me the wrong meeting time. When I called, he said my part was canceled. It's ridiculous, right? That's insane. Shouldn't you report this to someone higher up? The thing is, he's the son of the president, and no one dares to say anything. If you oppose him, he threatens to fire you. What a situation. Also, I don't have a place to stay tonight. My accommodation was apparently canceled. Do you know any business hotels nearby? Forget hotels, just stay at my place. Really? Thanks. Explaining the situation to Jason made him even more upset than me, and I felt somewhat relieved. After catching up for a while, we decided to head to his apartment. He graduated from a prestigious medical school in Colorado and has been working at a university hospital since last year. When I visited once before, it was a studio apartment for students, but now it seems he has moved to a spacious 2-bedroom apartment. I was surprised by the spaciousness of the entrance when we arrived at Jason's apartment. That was just the beginning. After being led to the room, I was utterly amazed by the cleanliness resembling a model room, the comfort of the couch, and the large display of the TV. Your place is incredible. I bought a lot of alcohol, but it's so nice here I'm hesitant to open any for fear of making a mess. What are you talking about? It's in the suburbs, so the rent isn't that high. Plus, the hospital gives me a subsidy. I see. This couch is so plush, I could fall asleep in seconds if I lay down on it. Feel free to make yourself at home. While we were having such casual conversations and relaxing in our room where the intercom rang. Ah, they're finally here. Guests. At my question, Jason gave a sly smile. He unlocked the entrance, and after a while, the doorbell rang. When Jason opened the door, Mr. Patterson and Adam from my company were standing there. I've been expecting you, Uncle. And Mr. Patterson. Michael, weren't you supposed to be sick? Yeah. I was completely bewildered and couldn't help but raise my voice. Adam, who was standing next to Mr. Patterson, turned pale as soon as he saw me. Uncle, it's been a while. Please, come in. Jason, it's been a long time. I hear you're doing well. Jason warmly welcomed them into the living room. As the four of us sat on the living room sofa, I couldn't help but ask Jason about his relationship with Mr. Patterson. Jason, you know him. Jer, he is my uncle. Uncle, then Adam is. Yeah, we're cousins. What? I was also surprised to find out that Jason and Michael were friends. The reason I chose Colorado as a destination was to see Jason after a long time. Is that so? I was astounded to learn that they were Jason's relatives. Jason chuckled at my reaction, then gave Adam a stern look. By the way, Adam, what's this about treating Michael as a no-show? I heard you gave him a false schedule and excluded him from the trip. Well, it must be some misunderstanding. Don't even try to deny it. I've heard everything from Michael. You said, I wouldn't enjoy the Colorado trip just looking at your smug face. I was speechless at how low that was. That was just a joke. I never thought he'd actually not come. Jason seemed unforgiving about what he heard from me and interrogated Adam with a severe look. Listening to Jason, Mr. Patterson suddenly looked furious and glared at Adam. You did that? No, Dad. What's your excuse then? It's Michael's fault. He's always so defiant towards me. You fool. I've heard all about your misconduct. Especially your treatment towards Michael was too much. I didn't mean to. I had hoped you would grow up and change your attitude, but instead, you're jealous of a competent employee and harassing him. This is inexcusable. You need to straighten up your attitude. You're fired. Adam, who was sternly reprimanded and fired on the spot, broke down in tears and begged for forgiveness from Mr. Patterson, but he was unmoved and eventually drove Adam out of the apartment. Afterwards, the three of us remaining Jason, Mr. Patterson, and I decided to share a drink together. Michael, I'm truly sorry for the trouble caused by my foolish son. No, it's okay. It's quite surprising to know that the two of you were acquainted. Uncle, Michael and I have been close since high school. He helped me out when I was just a studious kid getting picked on by delinquents. Is that so? Michael was not only good at studying, but he also joined your company because he wanted to ease his mother's burdens as soon as possible. He's serious, responsible, can't ignore someone in trouble, and is a genuinely kind and generous person. I see. I've actually been keeping an eye on you as well. Really? He smiled kindly at me. You're diligent in your studies, trusted by our clients, and even the presidents of partner companies speak highly of you. Thank you for your hard work. That's an honor. I've also seen you working hard late into the night, on multiple occasions. Really? I'm getting on in years. I've been thinking it's about time to groom a successor and consider a transition. Is that so? Michael, I would like you to consider taking over as the next president. What? Of course, I don't mean right away. As you've seen, my son turned out to be quite the disappointment. I want the company to be in the hands of someone who can build trust with our clients, someone like you." I was so astonished by his words that I couldn't find my voice. Jason then teased me. "Good luck, Mr. Future President." "Hey, Jason. Don't worry, you can do it." With Jason's encouragement, I accepted his offer. As the appointed next president, I committed even more diligently to my work, aiming to quickly become a trusted leader and create a more accommodating work environment